Now we've finished our black spots, the next thing to do is get some colour into the animal. We're using Ashby soft pastels. Now basically I'm looking for these three tones. The first tone I'm going to use is a sort of dark sienna, raw sienna if you like, for the brown tones in the cheetah's fur. And we'll start again with the head, and you can see that most of the dark browny coloured fur is around the nose and the forehead. So we'll gently stroke in this soft pastel around the nose. Notice that it's not too heavy, we don't do anything too heavy at this stage, and then we can just gently push that in with our finger. It helps to soften everything off. And then also we'll take this up into the forehead. We can start defining the shapes of the forehead using these colours now by leaving a gap in the middle. That lighter section will start to come forward, and the darker sections with this sienna will start to recede. And then stroke it again, following the direction of the fur again. It's always important to do that. Around the side of the head, under the eyes, flicking outwards there. And notice we're still allowing a lot of the paper colour to show through. This gives us an additional tone. If you're careful about the colour of your paper, then the choice you make there will help or hinder your painting. Of course, our cheetah's mainly yellows, browns, a bit of silvery grey, so this sand coloured paper is ideal. Having got the tones in for the face, we then need to just scatter a little bit more around to balance it out. So again, stroking downwards, nice and soft, leave some paper showing, it all helps. Stroke that sienna right down the front of the leg. See, it's 3-4 easy strokes, that's all there is to it. And gently rub that in with your finger, and a little bit on the chest, and again down this other front leg, gently stroking that colour in. Tiny bit in the back leg because it's receding, we don't want it to be too strong. And maybe just to balance the whole thing out, a little bit in the crest on top of the neck. And again, stroke it upwards, keep your cheetah happy. Okay, then we'll move on to our second tone. We generally work from dark to medium to light, so these two tones are very similar, but we'll call this in our dark tone. And this is a sort of brown grey. Again, it's an Ashby soft pastel, perfect for the velour. So we'll start off with the shadow areas, and the first being under the chest. So again, gently stroke that grey under the chest there. Blend it in with your finger. It doesn't matter if you cut across the browns that you've already put down. It all helps to blend the fur together. And then a little bit down the side of the leg, it's going to be in shadow. This looks a little bit darker than our picture does at the moment, but don't worry about that because we can lighten that up later. A little bit in the back legs. They almost want to disappear, those back legs, so the front legs will come forward. And then we can pop a little bit around the side of the face. The ears, a lot of grey inside those ears. So again, let's gently stroke that grey in there. And then again around the neck. Gently stroke that in, a little bit around the shoulders. And finally, our light tone for the underpainting will be this Naples yellow. Again, we're going to use this quite sparingly because we don't want to lose all the colours that we put down already. And this is going to be more or less on the lighter parts of the fur. So again, on the outside of the front leg, just little hints is all we need. We won't put any down the back legs because we want those to recede. Remember, the brighter colours come forward, darker colours recede. And then we'll put a little bit on the lovely muscles above the eyes. See how that colour brings those muscles forward. The muscles above the eyes on each side there too. And also the muscles underneath the eyes. These are important because you want those to stand out. Those are your prominent features. Pop a little bit of colour on the top of the head. And again, just stroke gently around the neck and shoulders, just to bring the whole thing together. So we've got the harmony of colour as well. And that will be all we need for our underpainting. Now that we've completed our initial pastel drawing and the underpainting colours, it's time to start considering detail. And for the detail, first of all, we'll have a look at the eyes. And the eyes in a cheetah are generally amber coloured. So we'll start off with this or sanguine hard Conte pastel. And the first thing we need to do is block out the colour for the iris, the coloured part of the eye. So go around the rim of the eye, around the pupil, and establish a base colour for the eye. As simple as that. The next thing we need to do is consider the highlights and reflections. Now, we need to sort of work out where the light source is coming from. So we can maybe suggest that the light is coming from the top left, for example. In which case, it's going to create a little pool of light in the bottom right of the eye. This again is the coloured part of the eye, the iris. So it gives that amber, a little yellow tinge in that corner. The next thing we need to consider is the sunspot. Then the sun would be top left of the eye, just little spots like that. That's all that's required. So the highlight and the reflection are opposite corners depending on the way the light comes. Then all we need to do to finish off the eyes is go back with our black pastel and just reaffirm the shape, re-establish the pupil, make the pupil a little bit sharper this time. And look at those heavy rims, those lovely black rims of the cheetah. We'll get those established now so we can bring the eyes to life. So carefully go around the eyes, the rims, the eyelids and so on. Try to get that nice predatory look in the eyes. This is probably the most important part of the painting, the thing that everybody will look at first, the eyes. So the more accurate you can be with these, the better. Okay, so that's our eyes finished.